All right, welcome to another episode of Dipped in Chocolate. It's me, Kalia T, co-host PT, and Q.
What's up, y'all? From an undisclosed location.
He out there getting his grind on, so we just gonna roll with it.
I'm
Well,
actually
see, the
not
whole
grinding.
thing is, this is the
My
thing,
kids is
you
grinding.
know.
I'm just laughing.
This is the thing. So we have a challenge going on. So we call it Pound of Chocolate, right? So Pound of Chocolate is like our weight loss challenge. So we have a goal that we all want to lose 100 pounds. So pretty much every week we weigh ourselves and come together and kind of talk about, and we talk about, our weight loss journey, our weight loss goals and whatnot. So at this point right now, we just now getting started. I'm in the lead because these clowns want to, they don't want to keep up. I'm over here, falling off but staying on point. And I keep asking these cats, like, where you at with your pound of chocolate? And I don't hear nothing. So,
you know what? I haven't lost not 1 pound, but I'm sincere in my want to do it. I just have not been focused. Of course, as you know, it's a lot of things in life that's hitting me like a ton of bricks. And but I have to put me first. I have to learn how to put me first. Like even right now, I'm over here watching my kids get their grind on, and I'm not even grinding. So that's just what it is right now.
I mean, no judgment, for real. It's all love. It's all about me keeping y'all accountable, y'all keeping me accountable. And, we'll let our viewers, people who subscribe and check it out, we'll let them be, a part of that journey as we continue to move forward and just keep us accountable as well. So
we just trying to go from being the clumps to the sexual chocolates.
Sexual chocolate.
We try to change it up.
Yeah. So the first things first, man, a couple weeks ago, we gave your boy Nick Cannon the box of chocolates, right?
I already know where you're going with this one. So
we
now you
gave
took
your
box
boy
of
the box of chocolates. Now don't get me wrong. I'm not taking back the box of chocolates because I feel like
I'll give him another.
You
well, no. See, now you acting like D Wade. You co-signed too fast.
No, I'm not taking no. I don't do take backs. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing take backs.
Well, D Wade is taking back.
He earned his box of chocolates.
He still earned his box of chocolates. Oh, did I say that? I'm sorry.
You said what happened?
I said D Wade needs to take back his manhood. That's what he needs to take back.
We had such a great discussion earlier. A lot of it we're not gonna recap because we don't want to be called or labeled or nothing. So we just gonna leave certain things where they are. However, I think my greatest disappointment in the whole situation is honestly the way Black people have not had his back. And I feel like we got to learn as Black people how to cover each other. And we don't ever cover each other. And I'm not saying that everything he said was acceptable or politically correct, What I'm saying is that we as Black people need to learn how to cover each other. And what I mean,
Can I say one thing?
uh-huh.
He didn't even give people a chance to cover him. As soon as they fired him, it was like a day or two later, he was already coming with the humble apology with his hat in his hand. So, or whatever, his
But that's
kufi or
because
whatever
that's
that thing
him.
is he wear on his head, his turban. He had his turban in hand, apologizing, saying how guilty he felt and all these other accolades.
Because
So
the
we
thing
couldn't have a
is,
chance to
though,
help him or gather around him. We didn't have that chance.
no, but the thing is, okay, because I've watched a whole lot of different commentaries. Like I watched Roland Martin, I watched so many people, and just not, they're like not either just real silent or kind of condemning him in a way.
Yeah.
And I feel like I feel like Nick Cannon is that guy, like I said before, who wants everyone to like him. You know, he wants to befriend everybody. He's trying to make everybody happy. He's trying to be for the cause. He's trying to make sure that the people who working on Wild 'N Out, you know, he got people on his payroll. You know what I'm saying? So he's looking out for everybody, and he's always been the guy looking out for everybody. And I feel like,
who's gonna look out for him?
Who looking out for him? And it's sad. That's the part that upsets me, because I feel like literally, like, he's put himself out there on the line for us. I understand that at this point in time in history, it's not a good look to be the person who says something about another race just because we're fighting so hard for our own rights. And I get where people come from with that part about creating more division, right? What he said created a little bit more division. So I get that part. And I know that a lot of people are against Farrakhan's teachings. He's, you know, they call him a anti-Semitic. I mean, just so many things. But if people would listen to what he said with ears of, because it's called Cannon's class, right? If anybody listened with ears of just hearing what he was saying, even if you didn't agree, just hearing what he was saying, it was sound bites. People were commenting on sound bites. And I feel like I was watching The View, and the way they were talking let me know that they never ever watched the full episode. Like, they did not watch it. They took the clips that was given to them, and then they made commentary on it. And so I feel like the first thing I did was I went and listened to the full episode. And what he did was, he was not talking about current America or current issues. He was talking about history, which dates back way past what we're thinking about right now. You know, and so I really feel like people just kind of commented without really listening to his full episode of his podcast. And some people were like, he said nothing wrong. I can see where there are things that are problematic, but for me, the only reason I say I'm disappointed with Black people not backing him up is because we got to get out of and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it straight out. We got to be careful that we're not accepting white history as our only history. We got to be careful of that, because to me, that still promotes that supremacy mentality. Like, what they write is actual fact, but anything outside of that is not fact. And we as a people can say, I'm not sure, I don't really know, I'm not familiar in that, but to demonize him and to add to that demigod mentality. We raise him up when he's fighting for us, and then we throw him down. when they say something. So it's, to me, that demigod mentality. You know, of
Okay,
he's the best until he
my
does
whole
something. Hmm?
my whole thing is like what you said is accepting their history to be fact, but look at the word in itself. It's his story. That's exactly what it is. So
Hmm.
whenever somebody is writing something, somebody sit down and write something. It's just like when kids play telephone. You know what I mean? By the time they get to the second, third, even, second and third is cool, but by the time it then ran its course, the story then changed narratives, and then of course there's the key word that Shannon Sharp was using a lot of when they said Deshaun Jackson had made some anti-Semitic stuff. I think Deshaun Jackson had said some things, and Shannon Sharp continued to tell people it's about context. Like, what are the contexts? What are you trying to say? Um, Fortunately for Nick, it was an in-depth show that had all the context there of what he was saying. But um, unfortunately, people did not hear exactly what he was saying because, like you said, they took sound bites, they took snippets, and then they just made it seem like, oh, it was this or oh, it was that. But it don't have to be none of that. Just it is what it is. He said what he said, um, and some people just don't want to deal with the ugly truths that are in the world. They want to hide behind, like you said, white supremacy to make it to where what they say goes. Like Tariq Nasheed said, it's I'm white and I say so. So people can get offended by a lot of things. I just, like you said, it's something that we don't have to go into detail. We don't have to just discuss our personal feelings towards what he said or how we feel anti-Semitics works, anti-Semitism. But it just, to me, it seems a little weird. I mean, right now it seems like all of this subject matter has went from Black Lives Matter to Will and Jada to Deshaun Jackson, and now we just all anti-Semitic. Like, we're talking about if you notice, they changed the whole narrative from Black Lives Matter to a whole bunch of stories out of nowhere talking about anti-Semitism.
So can I
Where
say
is
something
this
real quick?
coming from? Go ahead, go ahead.
Um, so before, while people sit here and analyze everything that everybody fucking saying, why don't they look at the actions that's happening around them? Because if we're talking about historically, where does savagery come from in the first place? Just off of what you have in front of you. I'm talking about video, the history books that you do have. Even though they put it in a nice way, what does conquering land do? What is that based off of in the first place? An intent to steal, like Nick Cannon said, an intent to take something else from somebody that you have no business taking from. That is a part of savagery. So for them to get mad at that type of wordage, I don't understand. And then he's talking about pre-Nordic history. Yes, they came from savage lands. Period. I mean, that's in history books that Americans don't get. But because they're not going to teach you that in schools because that's a part of European history as well. Barbarism is a part of European history as well. So it's like, why are we getting mad at shit that's actually in some historical texts?
I think it has a lot to do with the times, because honestly, nothing that he said is something that is new to anybody. Like,
Okay.
it's not something that is new.
It's
So
not something that's new, but it's something that is still occurring recently. Don't you think that all of these Karen videos are a part of savagery? Or am I looking at it wrong? All of these people walking up, calling you niggers, trying to hit you, spit in your face, ain't that a part of barbarism and savagery? You trying to shop, but a motherfucker trying to attack you. Just because. That don't seem civilized to me. And that's recent. That's 2020 I'm talking about. So, I mean, these same motherfuckers getting mad is the same motherfuckers that's acting stupid.
I think
Maybe it's me.
No, it's not you. I feel like, you know, I try not to, even in me being a person who is very much about my community, I try not to paint a broad brush, whether it's any race, any profession, whatever. I just feel like I said, at this time, people are, and you know, I always go back to what the Bible say, and I remember this. And I remember this because I feel like it tells us where we are right now. And a lot of people don't believe in the Bible. They don't, it's the white man's Bible. But I don't care in what context you say it. Say in these days, people will become overly sensitive and easily offended. Overly sensitive and easily offended. That's where we are right now. You cannot literally sneeze without somebody looking at you like you offended them. I know we in a pandemic, but dang, we in allergy season too. So just because I sneeze don't mean I got the bubonic plague. And just the things that they say, like I personally am Black and I get offended every time, 45 says the Chinese disease or the Chinese flu. To me, that's foul. And ain't nobody calling him out. It's just like we have to become, we always, this is a pointing finger. Everybody's pointing the finger. Even in the whole Will and Jada situation, everybody want to point the finger. Now they want to call Jada a predator. She's a predator now because he was 25. And it's just like, he's a grown man. She was a grown woman. Referring to her like she's R. Kelly. He was grown. He's 25 years old. That's grown.
Wait, no, see, that's crazy. No, because now I'm gonna speak on that. I don't know what part of the segment of this show it is, but let me hit on this one because you can't sit up here and make excuses, and that's one thing that a lot of people are doing and a lot of women have done. Like if this was a man and his daughter brought over a friend, everybody would criticize him for him taking down a 20-something-year-old young woman who came in there as his daughter's friend. They would criticize him. See, everybody likes to talk about double standards. The women that been in R. Kelly's home, they were over 18, okay? So, but now we trying to lock him up. Y'all out there burning Pied Piper masks and capes talking about no more R. Kelly. But then when Jada do it, she's getting a sympathetic ear. People are stepping up in her rescue. No.
I'm not stepping up. Let me be clear. I'm not stepping up in her rescue though.
No, because you said people are saying that she's a predator, and you're saying that he's grown, he can make his own decisions. And the reason
I feel the same way about them. I feel the same way, about R. Kelly though. So that's what I'm saying. Don't think that I'm saying R. Kelly is wrong and she's right. I'm not saying that. I don't want you to think.
Well, I'm just saying, overall, like women feel like, okay, he's a grown man and you really can't it's hard for you to rape a grown man. You know what I mean? It's hard for you, for a woman, I should say, to rape him. But the thing that I'm trying to say about her is the way he came into your circle. He came in there wounded and broken, and he came in there also. Let's just be honest. People are influenced by stardom. You Will Smith. You're Jada Pinkett Smith. So you big. So then, therefore, his eyes was already like, oh my God, I'm with the Smiths. This is somebody who has nothing.
They paying attention to me. They noticing me. oh man, this is an
Yeah.
opportunity for me
This is, oh my God, I never thought in a million years that I'll be here
that
with
I'll be right here.
with the Will Smith, Bad Boys Will Smith, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Oh my God, not the low down dirty shame. Like, so in his mind, he's in a position where it's like, my God. So then when she puts pussy on the table, like, it's like, you serious? Me? That me? I never thought. Hey everybody. So then now this nigga like, I can't believe it. Only to be told after you, I just wanted to feel good, but yeah, about that. Like what? I thought, but she said, oh, we were good friends. If you was good friends with somebody, you don't just do them like you did them.
But she
Leave them out there
also
to dry.
said she also said that he cut off contact with her. And
Because
That's a
she
lie.
played him.
I get it. I get it. I'm not. Listen,
That's a
I'm
lie.
not.
He ain't cut off. He
It's
would have been
probably
still. He would
a
have been.
lie, but either way, it's
He would
like
have signed it to
nigga,
be her pool boy.
like either way, it's like okay, you dealing with somebody that's not right mentally and physically at that point. At that moment, he was physically sick and mentally unwell. So anything you doing emotionally for him is adding on to his repair. So his repair is not happening on its own. His repair is happening through you. So when you end that type of relationship in the way that they ended, whether it was her or him, there is going to be some type of additional damage that has happened.
And I think
because he was repaired through her.
I think that's just, that's any relationship. And that's why they tell you, like, when you're married, that you shouldn't have single friends. You know what I mean? That's part of it. Not saying, I feel like as a married woman, your friendship should be not between just you and him. Because these are the situations that happen because women, we are, by nature, I guess you would say the nurturer, and so we try to fix. I'm going to fix this person. I'm going to make it better. I'm going to make them better. I'm going to help them out. And we are what they call the weaker vessel. And no matter what people say or, whatever, our vulnerability makes us weaker vessels. And that's how I truly believe that. We get too emotionally attached to things. And so I think that kind of blurs the lines.
I personally don't necessarily buy that. See, that weaker vessel was written in the Bible by a chauvinistic male. Because if you look at the wild and you look at the prey and you look at predators, just look at the Sahara Desert or the Serengeti or anywhere in Africa. On those plains in Africa, you have a lion, right? And you have a lioness. Do you know who does the hunting? The lioness does the hunting. She brings back the food to daddy. So women are predators. They are predators. They will prey on people, just like the black widow spider. Women are dangerous, and they keep trying to put this cloak of innocence and this, that, and the other on it. No, I don't buy that. And that's how a lot of cats get gamed up out here, and we end up falling for it. We all fall for it, and we all get preyed upon because men with our egos and men are emotionally we usually are emotionally undeveloped. You know what I mean? Through whatever reason, whether it's systemic or whether it's your home rate, your home life, or if it's just a personal life experience, you can become emotionally immature. So when you have someone prey upon your emotions, prey upon your intellect, prey upon your pockets. Women do it all, and they are predators. And that's why I say the Bible. I'm not going to want to say the Bible, but I want to say historically, we undervalue the actual the actual essence of what women have and their ability to make things happen within the realm of their wants.
It's
So
manipulation.
when you look at, I'm sorry,
It's manipulation.
exactly. And
That's
women
what it is. It's
since the
manipulation.
and women since the beginning of time have manipulated men to do their bidding.
Hmm.
That's why wars have been fought over women.
Hmm.
That's why Augustus Augie is
Og.
currently Og. He's
Og.
currently dealing with something that happened to him because of a woman. Do you know how many men have went to jail over a woman and she out with another nigga the very next day? So we can't let people just glance over the fact that women can manipulate and they can hurt and they can tear down and they can kill. Women are just as evil as men are because it's a woman and he's a man. So the essence of evilness is within them both. So
Mhm.
I don't want to give nobody, and that's what the problem with society. I personally feel is that women have a lack of accountability. You know, even how you raise how men raise their daughters. That's my baby. That's my baby girl. You know, oh, she can do no wrong. You want to protect her from men. Well, because men are hunters when it comes to sex, but women are hunters when it comes to lifestyle. You see that difference? She will hunt her prey. She will get married. She will have a husband. She will get finances. She will get resources because women want to be secure. So that's why men who have bigger muscles, they attract more women, and it's just it's in nature. It's in the natural. Most men who are small, who are little guys, they're not going to get as many girls as or women as a man who's strong, burly looking, because he looks like he can protect her. Even though the little dude might be a black belt in 10 different styles and be nice with the hands and the guns, and he might be able to protect her and provide for her more than the big guy. It's all about perception. It's just the natural mating. So, with that being said, Jada knew what she was doing. She's too old to play that dumb. And even Will looked at her when she said entanglement,
Right.
like, really, Jada?
Right. Just say it. Stop playing with the
Entanglement,
words. Right. Stop playing with the
entanglement. Like,
words.
like I mean, I didn't even look up that word. I mean, because I've never heard it used like that.
But
I
it was
mean, when
it
I
which
think of
it was correct.
like when something is tangled, it's like, oh man, hand me that cord. Oh, the cord is tangled. Unravel it. You know what I mean? So when you say entanglement is in terms of relationships, if I say somebody's entangled with somebody, I would say that that means that you just happen to get involved with the person, but it was never meant to be together. It was just, it just happened, and then now we unraveled it. Now it's
But see, that's
unraveled.
not what that means though. It means
I'm just saying,
a complicated relationship, which is correct. Because anytime you get your feelings and emotionally involved with someone other than your husband, it's complicated. So she knew what she was saying.
I don't think that. I think, like I said, that so entanglement. If that just means a complicated relationship,
Hmm.
then that means that you have dishonesty, and so somebody's being dishonest and disingenuous. Because whenever you're honest, no matter if you're married or single, and if you're honest about your intentions with whoever you're dealing with, guess what? It's not going to be an entanglement. It's just going to
It
be the
says
relationship.
the definition of entanglement: a complicated or compromising relationship or situation. So when she said,
Compromising.
it was what it was. Now Will was just like a relationship, just say a relationship. But for her,
Because
you
she's feeling
can't.
like she was compromised.
No, I think when you said this to me from what the little part that they showed, because it was a bigger conversation. From the little part that they showed, it seemed like what she was saying is, I got involved with him. It's more complicated than what I want to talk about. So that's why she said entanglement. Because at the end of the day, Will was like, just say it. She still didn't want to say it. So she wasn't really ready to talk about it per se. But because August brought it out, she didn't want to even call him a liar. You know what I'm saying? Like she didn't, this is her husband she's talking to. And she still was thinking about his feelings in the situation too, which makes it complicated. And I feel like what she said was correct. That's what entanglement is. Now, we all know you are around the way fillet. You know what I'm saying? So you coming up with some entanglement, you just playing on words right now. You just playing with us, and that's a part of that manipulation.
I mean, what do you mean she's an around the way fillet? What does that mean?
She from Baltimore.
So what's that mean?
You remember when Shanae was like, I'm around the way fillet. Okay, you don't remember that?
Nah,
Oh,
I missed
Martin.
that, Shanae. I missed that one.
So
that
but
basically
anyway,
saying,
it just means she a roundaway girl. You know what I'm saying? So she wasn't born yesterday, and she can't play that little card.
I mean, she's too old for that anyway.
Yeah, and so I feel like that was another manipulative tactic, a play on words, instead of just flat out saying, hey, yeah, you know what, I did. I hadn't, me and Will was separated, so I did have a relationship with him. Honesty is the best thing. Now you the joke of the town because you done made play on words. So now they got remixes and everything. Entanglement
Yeah,
with August.
that word.
Entanglement in August. Entanglement.
Oh, well.
Entanglement. Y'all didn't see the video? I wish I could stick it in there.
Yeah,
so since P is so young, like give us a perspective of what you, like how you would look at it if you was, because you closer to Augie or Aug's age group. So if you was in that same situation, what would you be thinking right now?
if I was in that situation.
With an older woman who's married, star.
I feel like, for one, I feel like dealing with older women does something more to you emotionally. It's something different emotionally, because when you're dealing with an older woman, you're dealing with her experiences as well. A woman that might be my age or might be younger might not have as many experiences, serious experiences emotionally that an older woman may have. Whether the older woman is immature or mature, whether the older woman is single or married. It's that life experience that coming from a different era that plays into the relationship, especially with a younger person, because it's like, if I was to me being 28, if I was to date a 45-year-old, that 45-year-old would know how to address somebody like me differently than somebody my age. Whether it be in August's perspective, him not really having a necessary relationship with his mother that he felt he needed. And then Jada Pinkett, who is a mother who has multiple kids, giving him that emotional attachment mother-wise. It sounds fucked up, but that's probably what she gave him initially. And then he like, damn, I'm starting to like her more. And then when she offered a relationship with him, he like, damn, this is what I needed in my life. So it's like it's a double play emotionally that he might not have gotten with just any regular female that's around his age. So I feel like it's mentally taxing to deal with somebody that can I don't want to say know what you're gonna do and know how you feel at any given moment and be able to play around that to make your situation better or make you think that your situation getting better. Um that's pretty much how I see the situation. Like that age gap, that generational gap is something that I don't think dealing with somebody seriously is beneficial. I don't think that's beneficial at all. I think somebody always get fucked in the end doing having those type of relationships.
I'm gonna say, in this situation, I personally feel like it might be a little bit deeper on both sides. Like I said, I feel like it's a highlight of a reel, it's a commercial on the whole show. So I feel like people bond over trauma. And I feel like in some way they bonded over trauma. And she was in the middle of breaking up and he was in the middle of what he was in. And they became each other's, escape from what was going on. And so, that's why they both handle it with white gloves. So I do believe like something happened and it was a trauma bond. Like that's my personal opinion.
I don't think it
Because
was a
they
trauma
both,
bond.
I mean, I do based on how he spoke about her and the way she spoke about him. I do.
No.
My question is this: why is Will so mad?
Why is he so mad?
Yeah,
Because he didn't know. I'm pretty sure he didn't know that the full extent of what was going on with them too.
Right.
I'm pretty sure he didn't know.
I agree with that. Because they
I'm pretty
said
sure he
it,
didn't know.
because pretty much it was like years. Like it wasn't just like, a couple months. Like it was like 2 or 3 years they was fooling around. So that's not a hit and run. That's a relationship. That's what he's saying.
So my thing with Will, my question is if they wasn't together, and you know that she was involved with this guy, or you knew he was around, if you know that if you're not together, I seriously doubt that Will was just just sitting at the house, just chilling while she over there with him. Like I seriously doubt that he was ever just chilling, even when he was in the good times with Jada. He was out there, and because the rumors was like even when he did Hitch with Eva Mendes, it was like one interview. I don't know if they still have it up, but she kind of put him on blast, Eva Mendes. So I believe he was knocking that down. And then there's consistent rumors that he kind of goes both ways. That's a rumor. It's not that hasn't been verified, and I don't want to speak on whether or not that's true. Like it doesn't really matter. But at the end of the day, like if you guys have this relationship and this understanding, I wonder why is he so mad?
Because it's one thing to have an understanding about, and I think that's like I said, I think with open relationships, and I would love to interview somebody in one, or in a polyamorous relationship or whatever. But what it is like, okay, yeah, you can knock that down, but don't get involved. You get what I'm saying? You can have sex with X, Y, and Z. Okay, you get this pass on this person. But when you start having a full-blown relationship with somebody, that's different. And I
You know
think,
what I think? You know what I think it was? I think when she was saying that she just wanted to feel good, that's when his face changed. Well, at least I noticed when his face changed is when she said, "Oh, I just wanted to feel good. I wasn't feeling good anymore." So he I'm thinking in my head, I'm thinking he probably thinking, I done did a lot for your ass, right?
but that's why he said, I was done with her ass. That's what he said. He was like, I was done with her ass. He said, I told her, you go and figure out what makes you happy. Like, they've been dropping little subtle things along the way. This is not just, it's not that's why it's not a surprise. Because she said in even other table talks, oh yeah, we just said we was never getting divorced. He's like, yeah, I said, I don't care. She said, I don't care if he's on that side of the house with somebody and I'm on this side of the house with somebody, but we not getting divorced. So that right there already told you part of the story. So at the end of the table talk, when she said,
I'm gonna get you back.
Yes, that part. She was like, oh yeah, I think you've done that already. He was like, no. She was like, oh yeah.
She was like, you've done that plenty of times. Like,
yes.
Basically, he did already plenty of times. Like, don't come at me with I'm gonna get you back shit when you already
right. Like you innocent.
Down this road
you ain't
over
innocent.
and over and over again. And
but that's the thing.
We all know he ain't innocent.
Right.
There's no way Will Smith is innocent.
He's not innocent, but then I think, like I said again, it's one thing to just be knocking down people. It's another thing to have a full-blown relationship with somebody for 2 years.
That's why I think he said, I'm gonna get you back.
Yeah. It's a difference. So that's just that. Gosh, that's part of the topic of relationships in general. So our hot chocolate topic of the day was about relationships, so we can just stay in that vein or whatever, because I remember back in the day, everybody was like, oh, that's relationship goals, blah, blah, blah. Then when they came out with all the stuff, they're like, ooh, we don't want that Will and Jada love. Nah, we don't want that love. But it's like, after 25 years of marriage, so many things happen. Like, so many things goes on, and I feel like there's a strong, PJ is single. I'm newly married, 6 months now. And my brother has been married, 11 years now?
It's 12 years.
12 years. So these are like 3 different levels. And so I just kind of want to chop it up and talk about relationships at different stages. And PJ, is marriage still something you see yourself doing, or is, because being classified as millennial, I hate saying that term because it's become negative, but where people are opting out of marriage, and is there benefits, or is it beneficial to stay single, or is there benefits to being married? So whoever wants to just open that up and start.
First, let me say that I've never believed in marriage. I think I've had this conversation with Yuan before. I've never really believed in the concept of getting married. And as Kiwana said to me before, it's like that's a business relationship that you agree upon with somebody else. That's long term or a lifetime, if it goes that far. But I've never believed in the concept of marriage for the simple fact of um everybody gets into relationships for the wrong reasons. And I think that those wrong reasons fall over into marriage when you get married with that person. Um, Marriage is not something that you can do on a whim, which a lot of people do, um, based off of emotion. That's something you got to really logically think about and weigh pros and cons. In my opinion, I don't know because I'm not married, but in my opinion, I feel like that is a decision that needs to be met with logic and not emotion. And I feel like a lot of people that get married and get divorced is because they made that decision off of emotion. Or men made that decision off of going off of the woman's emotion because the woman is threatening to leave, maybe because she wants to be married and have kids. But you at that time you loving the woman, so you like, okay, I don't really want her to go do that with somebody else. So let me just go ahead and do it. Maybe against my better judgment, but let me just go ahead and do it. And yeah, I think I don't know. I feel like that's something that's not really necessary. If you want to have a relationship with somebody, I feel like relationships could last a lifetime, but you don't have to get married to that person. So this is my opinion.
And what was the question again, Kalia? So I can get a better understanding of how I should come at it.
No, I was just saying we're on three different levels of him being single, me being a newlywed, and you being, you know, being married longer than most people. But I was just asking, is singleness uh, something people should aspire to, or is there still benefits to being married?
Well, yeah, the business of being married is like I told PJ, it's a business. But I'm gonna let you give me your reasons for being married, and then I'll chime in.
For me,
Yeah. So, what are your reasons for getting married?
um, I think my reason, well, first of all, I was cool being single. Like I had got to the point where I had dated enough idiots and kissed enough frogs to where I was good. Okay, I was real cool on being single. Um, it was a point in which I was like very down on myself, feeling like I want a relationship, I want a healthy relationship, but I'm overweight, I am dark skinned, and I'm not the top pick of the litter. So I had a conversation with you one year, Q, and you were just saying, you know, uh, aim at aim at you know the target in your range, and I would be like, you know, I'm hot stuff, but it's a reason why most Black women are not married, you know. And so for me personally, I was like, well, I want to be married, I want that, and because I do have a spiritual foundation and I believe in soul ties and all of that, I don't believe in being with a whole lot of people. And so, you know, that's it's fun for the young life, but as you get older and you realize, like, you know what, ain't nothing out in these streets and these people are crazy and sleeping with Tom, Dick, and Harry and swiping right and left and just, you know, tossing people away, I was like, that's not the life that I want. I want to build something. I want something long lasting. I want a house. I wanted kids, past tense. Um, I mean, I might, but as of right now, the way the world is, I feel like it would be unfair to bring a human into this. So I'm not sure. My husband wants them. If God blesses us, then that's fine. But right now, I don't know if it's fair to them to bring them into this world. But at the time, I wanted to build. I wanted to build a company. I wanted to build I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Um, and so I felt like I wanted to be with a person who met that, and we can do that together. So my reasons for getting married was just to build kind of an empire together and have that support system. Um, as far as just being newly married, honestly, it's good and bad times. Like, I think this pandemic truly, truly helped our relationship more because it helped us really face each other's personality. And I think that was like that's the hardest part about being married to somebody, is learning their temperament, their attitude, how they are, how they like things. And I think being shut up in the house with somebody, that really does do something. And so for me, like, just being caught up in this pandemic has really truly helped our relationship, and helped our relationship in the point where we actually enjoy each other. Like, we enjoy being around each other. Like, we enjoy our conversations with each other. It's a lot different than before. So if you were to ask me if there's benefits to marriage being right now, yes. Like, having two incomes and not having to do it all by yourself is a huge plus. Like, a huge plus. Like,
That's a mature way of thinking, though.
I mean, it's a huge plus. Like, I honestly, it is hard to be having to, think of another person. I think that selfishness sometimes is still there. Um, and I have to remember not to be selfish, and to actually think about somebody else. I can't just go and do something and not tell the other person. Stuff like that. Like, I'm still getting used to that part because I don't like to answer to anybody. But again, I think that comes with me being so much older, getting married as well. Being 35 and getting married. Like, I'm very set in my ways. So it's a lot of breaking down, that part. But for the most part, I just want to build a life with somebody. And I am that person who met somebody and got married. Like, I met him, he proposed within a month, and we got married, and we've been together 2 years now. So I can't say, I
Uh,
can't say anything about, the time frame. Again, like, I feel like, yes, what you said is true. It's the reasons why you do it. And you have to be mature in your decision, but I don't know if I would say a time frame. But that's just me.
and I also think you met somebody that had a different perspective on being married as well. Um, you know, him being, I don't want to say him being African, but because he's African, he has a different outlook on what marriage is than the normal American person. Um, so I mean, I guess that's a plus as well. But yeah,
Yeah, I think we lean on each other, and of course, like I said before, I've said this in previous, my husband couldn't drive, and so it's certain things. Some woman will be like, he ain't got his own car, he can't drive. I ain't gonna be with him. That wasn't a deal breaker for me. Cause why? You can learn how to drive. You know what I'm saying? You can get a license, you can get a car. That's not a deal breaker just because that person doesn't have that at the moment. You know, and I think a lot of people that are calling things deal breakers are not necessarily deal breakers. You know, and so again, you got to pick your battles, but that wasn't a battle I felt like disqualify him from being, you know, the person he is. So I don't know. Hugh?
Okay. Well, if we're looking at singleness versus marriage, or the aspect of it all, um, just coming from my personal experiences in life and like reasoning why people get married. Going back, if I go back to like when I was just young, I really did not want to be married, or I didn't want kids, I didn't want marriage, I didn't want none of that. Because to be honest, I've never seen nothing successful come of it. But me being who I am, I leaned upon at the time more of a Christian kind of mythology or method. So, you're gonna be engaging with somebody and fornication, or if you're gonna have children with somebody and you wanna, do all these things, you need to, be married. So so then I rolled the dice and just got married. And the person that I married at the time, I mean, everybody had their ups and downs, everybody had their flaws, but I could say, no matter all of the flaws that she had, I realized that she always had my back. And it's something to say that somebody have your back. 100% have your back. Like if I was to walk out the door today, I would still be able to come to this person and they would still have my back. So that's why I feel like overall, we definitely need to look into what it is that you think marriage is and what it is that marriage is. And that's why I always use the analogy of marriage being like a business. So when you have a lot of people out here, especially young people, you marry for love, you marry because you like the person, or they're just so hot, they're so this, they're so that. That's a lot of superficial shit that people put on marriage. And to be honest, none of that is the reality. The reality is that person ain't gonna be hot all day. The reality is, if he had a good job and a nice car, that could be gone too. So if people look at all of the superficial things that they have on this imaginary checklist for marriage, all of that can be gone in a heartbeat. But you have to look at the general love that the person is going to have for you, or just the ability for you guys to be winning and be engaged in the choice of winning. I've had some lucky instances where I've came across older people who've been married, or just conversations with elders. And one of the elders, he told me, he said, listen, the reason why I've been married to my wife, I think he said 40 years. He said the reason why is because I knew that I had to choose to love her. I had to choose to want to be married to her. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that. And that's why they get divorced. They get divorced because they felt like the love or that googly feeling or all of those little newlywed feelings, all of that stuff subsides, all of it fades. Eventually, those breastises is going to be hanging down to the floor. Eventually, that ass is going to be dropping down to the floor. Eventually, he might have to pop a pill to get that thing to work right. So all I'm saying is all of these physical attributes that people are trying to get involved in, it can leave at the drop of a hat. So what is it that we're really trying to get married to? Are we getting married to an idea? Are we getting married to some Disney fantasy? So that's why I say, look at it like a business. And one thing about a business is that every year, businesses do something.
Audits.
They
A
do an audit.
review.
They do
They
audits.
do a
Yeah.
review. Like your boss is going to give you a review. But that's where in a marriage you have to have communication. Also, one thing a business has that people don't realize when it comes to a marriage, you need this in a marriage as well. A mission statement. You got to have a goddamn mission for your marriage. If it's for y'all to be like Will and Jada, then be like Will and Jada. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you got to have a mission. A mission statement is necessary. Bylaws. The bylaws is kind of where Jada and Will fell off because they had a bylaw in their marriage. Regardless of how it was, there was a bylaw there. Like, hey, give me permission, I can swing this way. I give you permission, you can swing that way, right? Evidently, those bylaws has a small writing in it, and somebody failed to meet the requirements of that bylaw. So that's why I said everything that we do, we need to look at it from a business perspective because you have to have a license to get married, just like you have to have a license to do business. And just how they have business education, you need to go out there, get relationship books. I've read some stuff, and all of it ain't all right, but you can take stuff from everywhere because the world is actually where you get your education. Your life experiences is where you get your education. So would I rather be single or would I rather be married? I think they're exclusively equal. That's why they always say the grass is greener on the other side. You know why? Because it's grass on both sides of the goddamn fence. Have anybody ever just said it like that? Everybody always looking at, oh, the grass is greener on that side. Nigga, it's grass. So that means if you go to the other side, it's grass. And then once you get your ass on that grass, you're like, man, my grass had this. Nigga, that was grass too. So it don't matter which way you do it. If you get married, just don't go into it with this ideas. Like when I talk to married people, when I talk to people who want to get married, I tell young girls, young women, I said, what's the difference between being married and having a boyfriend, or having a husband and having a boyfriend? I was like, well, my husband this and my husband that. I'm like, so there you go. The difference between having a husband is that when you say the word husband, the definition is different than a boyfriend. Look at what it's telling you at the within the language. That's a boy. So you automatically hold him to less expectation because he's a boy in the Bible. Even if you say, oh, that's my man, because you don't want to call him a boyfriend, so that's my man. But you know how even if you say that's my man, it still has less expectations attached to the word than husband. So when people just in their mind hear wife and husband, they begin to have different expectations.
Just to respect, right.
And that's where things can get messed up. Because when you change your expectations in the middle of a relationship, that is where it's a recipe for disaster. So when you're getting engaged with something as a single person with somebody, and y'all both are feeling like this is where y'all going, this is where the mission statement comes in. Because now the mission statement is going to give your expectations of what the husband should be doing, what the wife should be doing. That's the mission statement of the business. But guess what? Sometimes we have to change direction. We have to diversify our investment. We might have started out as being this way, but sometimes we got to say, okay, this is what I was wanting at that time. And now I'm wanting this. I also tell in these conversations, I tell people all the time, when I was a kid, I was like Keenan and Kel. I wanted orange soda, orange Cheetos, orange. You couldn't tell me
half
that
and
Cheetos,
half bar.
half and half. I wanted orange. My inside was probably orange. Like the truck came, I was like Cheetos, orange soda, half and half, orange. Guess what? I don't eat none of that now. I can't stand it. So as you grow, your taste change. Same thing with your husband and your wife. Eventually, whether it's in the bedroom, whether it's in how you raise your kids, whether it's in the food that you make, whether it's in how you just want to communicate, things will change. But if you're not understanding of those things and trying to adjust to change, therefore your marriage will die. Because you have to change. Change is the only thing that is constant. That sounds crazy, right? Constant change? Yeah. One thing that is constant is change. You're always going to change. So when people get into these relationships and then they try to push towards marriage, that's why they don't understand the pitfalls of the game. But I
think that's because they go into it like
with the key word.
You go into it with boyfriend expectations. Like
no, and that's why I told you when you first was trying to get married, I said, listen, when you get married and y'all walk down the aisle, the very next day, is that nigga gonna be any different than he was all the days that you was with him? Hell no. He gonna be the same nigga. So why are you gonna expect something different? Now, over the course of being married, that's where the change happens. But your expectations shouldn't off the rip change. You only can go by what the person is presenting you. I can't expect that all of a sudden my wife is going to become a 5-star chef when she can barely make macaroni and cheese in the beginning. Now, over the course of years, the nigga can, she can elevate her cooking game. And I'm not talking about personal experiences, but I'm just talking about in general, right? I'm not going to expect something from somebody here. Like my wife shouldn't expect for me to be some kind of crazy $1 million nigga. If you met me, I was struggling working just regular job. But can I aspire to be $1 million nigga? Yes. And the problem is also when people start to make changes for the better, that's a whole nother thing. Because then you will see if that person really got your back. Because don't you start doing good, don't you start looking good, don't you start making moves that you never made before because you want to elevate yourself in your mind. You're changing how you view the world. Now you're going to see how closed-minded people really are. Because they're going to be like, oh, you must be messing with a new bitch, huh? She got you showering daily. Well, maybe I just don't want to not shower daily. Maybe I want to walk out the house with clean as a motherfucking chick every single day. But see, when you start to elevate and change, if I start working out extra hard, don't say that it's because somebody else. Just say because you want to become healthy and support it. Don't say because I'm making some cool little money moves and I'm keeping this paper right. Don't say it's because I'm trying to elevate myself to leave you. Be a helpmate to the situation and get in there and get the money together.
Right.
But see, it's just within relationships is jealousy.
Yeah.
And that's something that they don't want to admit as well. Go ahead, Pete.
Um, from a single lens, trying to get into relationships to progress forward. I feel like a lot of times when I've gotten into a relationship, I've gotten into a relationship from page one. And I feel like when you try to start a book, because relationship to me is like starting a book. You know, you create situations, you create stories with someone else, you have experiences with someone else, and that fills up a book of experience, and it fills up a book of creating emotionally love and logically intertwined business with someone else. When I start a relationship, I start from page one, and I feel like a lot of women that I started relationships with are trying to start a relationship from page 30. There's a lot of I say it a lot to people. I'm like, you're not in love with me, you in love with the concept of me. You in love with what you think I can bring to your table. You in love with the pre-built house. You're not trying to construct with me. You're not trying to create with me. You're trying to jump in on the creation. And I feel like the way my mentality is and the way a lot of women's mentality is today, as far as being millennials, I'll probably never get married. Because I feel like it's a different meaning to a relationship than what's been portrayed. Maybe that's me. I don't know.
I don't think you're alone. There's a lot of people in your generation that don't see the value in marriage. And like I said, they don't see the value of it because they don't understand the process. The number, like Zoe Williams say, he has his stats with him and Antonio Moore and stuff like that. And they bring up the fact that the number one way to become wealthy is to be married. Off the rip, if you're making 40,000, she's making 30,000, she can make 60,000. Y'all, that means y'all winning. Y'all don't have no kids, two people, you double your income, there you go. You automatically propelling yourself to a different tax bracket just by being together. Now, once you start to acquire things like a home, there you go. That's an asset, right? Now, once you acquire things like investment, life insurance, things of that nature, they usually happen when you're married. When you're single, I don't think you even care about life insurance. You don't even care about buying a home. What for? Why do I have to buy a home? I'm by myself. I can rent this apartment, live here, die tomorrow, it don't matter, because I don't need to lay down no roots. I'm not having no children. I'm by myself. I'm single. So if you don't see the value in doing certain things and creating that wealth, and creating, like even when you have some men who are ready for marriage, they actually go out and build the house, they buy the house. But what's the point of getting married to somebody that you've already constructed this whole situation? Like you said, now they come into a pre-made situation. And then same thing for women. Some women are already college educated. They have money. They just want a man. And that's the worst thing ever for a relationship. The reason why I say that is because if you have a woman who's already constructed a life for herself, she's literally bought a home, she has a 401k, she has money, she has education, she has her lifestyle built around the things that she's acquired, and then she turns around and meets this guy. If he's not checking all of these boxes, it's going to be a problem. And then let's say he does check all these boxes. If he moves in with her, she feels like she's the captain of the situation. And most men try to be leaders of their household. Even weaker men try to be leaders of their household. And what that's going to do is be Clash of the Titans every day. Because she's looking at you like, hey, At the end of the day, in the back of her mind, whether she said it or not, nigga, this is my shit. That's the way she look at it. Unless she meet a true alpha male, like, hey, I understand you bought this house, but guess what? We're gonna buy another one. You have to sell this. We buying another. And the reason why he's saying you're gonna have to sell this is because now you truly invested in this situation. Some people be like, oh, we can just rent that out and then we can go buy another one. Well, if she rent it out and go buy another one, that means she can always go back.
She can always go back, right?
So she ain't truly 100% invested in you. But if she willing to sell it, and that's sad because relationships fail, and then now she feel like she's been wrong, she's been all this, all that. But guess what? 90% of the time, I want to go get the house anyway. So how much is she really, going to lose by buying and relocating? Now, for a man, that's danger game. Because if you move a woman in, she can get you for everything you got. And that's just unfortunate that the system works that way. And that's why a lot of young men like P, they're like, man, if I get it, I'm getting it. I ain't gonna bring nobody else in. If I'm getting it and I'm building my shit, and I built it, no, I'm keeping it just like this, Playgirl, because I can't bring you in. Because you'll get me for everything I got. Because that's the way the system works, unfortunately.
Because honestly, I feel like when you get married, it's because you're not really supposed to separate. So if you getting separate, if you're divorcing or you're separating, I feel like that's like a consequence of it, because it's like.
But why is it a consequence?
I don't know. I'm just
90%,
saying.
90% of the time, they handed out this consequence to me. Women,
that consequence is backwards, because it's telling me that because you got into a relationship with this woman, you can never leave, or else we'll take everything from you.
But that's not.
That's what that told me.
That's not necessarily the situation, because nowadays there are a lot of women who make more money than the man, and so therefore
it's still not the same situation. It's still not the same situation.
Mary J,
because
she's paying a whole lot of money in alimony to a dude who was like.
You talking about a celebrity?
I'm saying
you talking about
changing is what I'm saying. Situations are changing.
I agree that things are changing, but I'm saying predominantly, regardless if the woman is making more or not, they usually end up having the lion's share of the pot. You know what I mean? They usually get the bigger side of things, and that's mainly because of children.
Yeah, I was just about to say, but usually that's when you have a family of some sort. And if you the breadwinner, or you the reason that person has And
you see situations where, and it's mainly for whatever reason, it's the celebrities that you'll notice, the Britney Spears, like the Kevin Federlines and people like that, like they're getting the children. Like, what's her name? I think she's currently in court about, the dude wants custody of the kids.
April.
Was it April?
April and Omarion?
No, not her. No, the dude wants custody of the kids, and he wants alimony. It's the Kelly Clarkson.
Oh, okay.
So with those celebrity situations, the women are kind of losing because they are the breadwinners. They're the stars in these situations, and they get caught up with these dudes who are doing what women do. But let's keep it 100. Most men have a certain code that they live by, where they're like, I don't want that nigga I want that to take care of me. I'm a man. I don't want, man, whatever. I'll get out here. I'll be homeless. Some men stand on that code where I live on the street before I let her take care of me. Before I be telling her where my alimony check. You know what I mean? That's what men will do. Men will literally go homeless before they let a woman take care of them, because you're attacking their manhood. So therefore, the court, even if the court were to give you your leeway, it's like most, I'm not gonna say most, some men are taking. This is a new day and age now. It's a new day and age, and that's why you're seeing it where you see more women are being hit, because a lot of these watery niggas down here is taking alimony checks from women. At one point, my wife was making more money than me. At one point, things weren't going that way. I wasn't even working. Do you think that if the paperwork would have went through, I would have been allowing her to give me some money? Hell no. I don't want nothing from you, nigga. Because that's just one more interaction I gotta have. Why I gotta call you up about an alimony check? Raggedy funky $200 and $500. Because we were in a situation where I wasn't working at the time. And, whatever. Nah, man. Keep that money for the kids. But then I'm gonna fight the alimony check, custody of the kids. I ain't about to be fighting nobody over their kids in the court. That's what I'm not gonna do. So you have certain men who have a certain standard that they live by. And like I said, a lot of stuff is watery now. The code is watered down. Man code is watered down. And that's why we have so much bullshit going on in the world. Because a lot of these men ain't really operating like men. They're not even leaders in their own household.
Yeah.
Being single, if I was to say, would I rather be single or married after being married for this amount of time? Once again, I feel like it's an equal playing field. If I was single, I think that I would be locked in and focused on a lot of things I need to do for myself, especially my health and my wealth. I will be locked in, 100% focused on like getting out there grinding, gym work every day. Because once again, you're single, so now I feel like when you're single, you have to be in a certain mindset, like, I gotta get out here and get it. And then also, it's a survival of the fittest at that point. That's what I was telling you back when you were single. I'm like, if you want a certain kind of dude, you gotta be that first. You know what I mean? I used to tell you that. Like, if you want a guy who looked like this and a dude who got muscles and this, that, and the other, like, what do you bring to the table? That's why I think a lot of people don't look at it like that. Like, people need to do like a self-inspection and say, okay, this is what I bring to the table, right? And this is what I want to achieve. This is what I want for myself. Now, within those wants and what currently is, that's where you can say, I need to find a man in line with who I am currently. Because when you shoot at that target, all relationships are like a mirror. So within that reflection, you can't reflect a person who's reflecting at a different, everything they're doing is at a different frequency. Whether if they're super rich, or if they super poor, or if they super in shape, or they super out of shape. Like, these things are like they say, opposites attract. That's to a certain extent it does, but when it comes to reflection, there's something within that opposite, like a super tall person and a midget. Even though they're super tall and she's a midget, that's a physical opposite, but they're mentally locked in on some wavelength. You can't have somebody who loves to eat Hostess cupcakes, donuts, candy, ice cream, be married to a fitness guru who drinks kale smoothies for breakfast and only eats lean meats and veggies for dinner and drinks nothing but water. Like, them two people, how that kitchen gonna look? They can't even sit over a meal that's common together. So how are they going to be? He working out, she over here kicked up with her feet up, watching the latest whatever, The Bachelor or some shit, eating, getting bigger. Now, yeah, that's a weird situation. And if that opposites attract, that means that there's something on the wavelength that they're connecting over, that they're bonding over. Maybe he's really insecure about who he is. So he feeds off her insecurities that make her the way she is. You know what I mean? They call them chubby chasers, right? But that's really, they bonding on a wavelength that this man can identify in her. Weak-minded people, or everybody has some things going on, insecurities or whatever. Everybody has something that they look in the mirror and they say that they don't like. And the people that don't, they're just narcissistic, psychopaths. But for the most part, people, they have a certain wavelength that they connect with. And go ahead.
Something just like what you was talking about. I was watching this guy and he lost I want to say 400 pounds. He's like a YouTube, I guess what you call influencer or whatever.
Are you talking about Perfect Pat or something like that?
I don't know. He's a white boy.
Oh, no,
okay, so this is white boy. He's a white guy, and he's still he hasn't gotten his skin removed, right?
Mm-hmm.
He lost all this weight. He became like a bodybuilder, and he hasn't gotten his skin removed. And he's he's dated women. They're like, why you don't get your skin removed? He's like, well, I haven't done it because I want a reminder of where I came from, of losing. He lost 400 pounds or something like that. And somebody, he was talking about a question he got about if he would date a woman who was, a big woman. He said, well, people automatically assume that just because I was a big man, I would, be with a big woman or whatever. And he was like, the fact of the matter is it's about who, you're attracted to. And I wasn't attracted to big women even when I was a big guy. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's just what it is. And so pretty much he was going into that, the reason I don't want to date a big woman, even though I've experienced being big, is because my lifestyle doesn't line up with that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And, and
that's just like a drug addict who went through rehab, got better, got off the dope or whatever they was on, and why would they go and date somebody who do drugs? Because if you had a big man who was big, the best thing for him to do is sit not mess with a big girl. Because whatever she's doing to be big, whether it's a stagnant lifestyle or a bad diet, it's not going to line up to where he's trying to go.
Mm-hmm.
And if he messes with that, his ass will be 400 pounds back overweight again.
And that's exactly what he was saying.
So
but not just in a food way.
Just the lifestyle.
Not just in food, it's in life, right?
Yeah,
it's
I'm about to get up and go run. But like I said, she over here, eating a tub of ice cream, watching reruns of Seinfeld. Like,
well, that was me. And I think that's the part of change, okay? Because, you know what I'm saying? That was me. During the quarantine, he would go out, play basketball, whatever. And I'm like, I'm finishing my season.
So he got bit by the basketball bug since he came out here?
He go walk up to the school and play basketball. And I was like, wait, I'm binge watching The Good Wife. I'll see you later. You know what I'm saying? That was me. I was like, whatever, go do you. And after a while, it was like, okay, I done gained 30 pounds, 20 pounds. Mm-hmm. He out here just, everybody oh, you look good. You got muscle. He out here playing basketball, up here developing muscles. And I'm up here getting fat. Why, women is commenting on how my husband is starting to look good, and I'm over here becoming, the Marshmallow Man, you know? So I had to change that. Like, and you know, truth be told, it's like I literally and let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you the real. Oh, this is way too candid on this show. I think I told you though, but I had went walking. We went walking like, I want to say like 3 miles or something. And that night, like I got up, you know, to use the restroom. Now, when you get up to, you know, you done walk 3 miles, you big, like you hurt. My muscles was so tight until it was almost like it was creaking. Like in order for me, you know, like your knees, like it's not a straight, like, oh, it's like stuck. So I'm in the middle of the night and it's stuck. So I go to sit down and they creaked while I go use the restroom and broke the toilet. I literally broke the base of the toilet because my legs creaked when I fell. And I fell onto the toilet and broke it. And in my mind, I was like, you just broke the toilet. And I was just like, I never want to feel that again. That's worse than breaking a chair. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is porcelain. You know what I'm saying?
Said,
like,
nigga, this is porcelain.
I'm just saying, like
this is close to the hardest diamonds, nigga.
yes, like you broke.
Like I'm breaking concrete, like I'm doing a Dukins in a dojo.
So I was just, at that point, I wasn't embarrassed, but I knew, like, okay, that's that.
Something's gotta change.
Yeah, that's that. So that's why I'm going hard.
Anybody can fall and break a toilet. A nigga 150 pounds can fall and break
yes,
the toilet.
but
even
me,
still, it was the point of the fact that the reason why you broke the toilet is because you're so out of shape to where your knees said, no, nigga.
Exactly. Yes.
No, nigga.
Oh, you thought you were about to sit down comfortably, huh?
Exactly.
Her knees blew out like Lightning McQueen's tires.
Yes, exactly.
Then water. Then the bad part is the water just leaking all over. You're like, damn, that's toilet water.
No, it didn't. Nah. It wasn't that bad. It was just like a crack in the base, you know? Mm-hmm. And I was just like, man, no, you can't do it. So that's why I've been going so hard. Like, no, like you can't keep doing that to yourself. And when you watching other people say they reverse their pains and aches and stuff, I'm tired of being in pain. Like, yes. I'm tired of just getting up out of the bed in pain. And I'm sitting up here bent over like, and he just getting up like, you know, because mentally, you know, we're not connected in that. But it's like, he's trying, you know, he was trying. The best part about your situation is that you have somebody who's pulling you towards He is. And now, that's the worst that's thing. What you gotta know. But it's not even at this point. It's not even him pulling me. Like at this point, it's just like having that to do somebody to do it with. Yeah, and it honestly, it's really having that support system, and you know, being single is great. You know, because you can focus on yourself, but it's different having that support system, like having somebody that got your back. You know what I mean? It's way different. And like, you know, if I'm like, well, I'm eating, you know, kale. Okay, well, I'm eating kale. I'm juicing. Okay, well, we juicing together. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. And a lot of people, instead of, like you said, that jealousy of you getting better, you getting, you know, it's not that. It's, okay, we eating salad. Oh, I'll fix you whatever you want. No, if you eating salad, we eating salad. Now I might have my ice cream or whatever, but you know, for the most part.
that's why I've been struggling year after year. It's because, you know, my family don't have a weight problem.
Hmm.
My family doesn't have a weight problem.
Right.
You know, Tyler in there, they taking Tyler's in there today. They're doing workouts just in their room, just doing sit-ups and crunches, and trying to get their six packs, and all of this. And they don't have a weight problem. So when they get ready to eat, they want a whole pizza to themselves. They want, all of the stuff that, it's not necessarily healthy, but when they work out as much as they do, just like we were just over there at the park when I was on the early part of the Skype, they're running drills. They're just sitting there running drills. That's for so they've been working out for 2 hours. Then they come home, take a shower, and then they go in there and play video games. So Tyler's been doing that for weeks now because he's trying to be on varsity next year. So he's been working out consistently. And I was telling him, like, that's cool, but when it gets ready time for me to work out, then I get into this mode. It's like, well, what we going to eat for dinner? So but I have to diet down. And it's hard for me to diet down with very little money to pay for everybody to eat something. And they need calories because they burn it so much and they're so small. So they need calorie-dense stuff, and everybody's working. So it's all these excuses. And all I can say is, it's bullshit. I need to get myself together and do what I have to do. But once again, when you turn it back to our topic of conversation, that's where marriage shines over being single, because you can have that support. But then that's where marriage don't shine over being single. It's because now you have other responsibilities that you would you will almost put first all the time over your own very well health and well-being. Because you will work 60+ hours a week so you can pay the bills for this house that you got with these kids. Instead of saying, no, I'm single, I only want to work my 40 hours. I'm going to, delegate my money. I'm get to go work out, and then I get to go hang out with friends.
But I think that that's something that we can learn from the millennial generation is the self-care. Because even in the married couples that, are coming up, even in PJ's age, they are approaching marriage not so traditionally in roles. And that leaves that time for self-care as well. It's like, no, we building that into this contract. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's
if I want to go get a facial, I'm getting a facial. If I want to go get a massage by myself, I'm going to get a massage by myself. I'm going to take some me time. That's that me time. Corey, why you need
Can
me
I say
time?
something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that I would recommend that for everybody is single right now, it's to focus on self, because I'm realizing that because I've been trying to focus on the feelings of another person instead of focusing on what I can do and what's in my power to do, and what I'm capable of doing in my individual life and in the relationship. Because I haven't been focusing on that, I'm figuring out that nothing's working. And to go deeper, recently I just started going back and doing jujitsu, and I've been doing that faithfully every Tuesday and Thursday for a couple weeks now. Getting up at 6 a.m. and going and doing that. And I've been realizing that the life that I've been living is not a life that I've ever wanted to live. I've been realizing that I've put where I'm supposed to be in this box and I locked it away. So every time I try to go and be something with somebody else, I'm never really being there, because who I am is not in the relationship. So me focusing on me and getting back to who I am, I create a new wavelength to where I feel like somebody will be there.
I think with anybody, especially being single, just speaking from personal experience and understanding I feel like I understand where you're coming from. And I think that sometimes there's an expectation of where we think we should be. And that expectation of where we think we should be keeps us from seeing the beauty in where we are.
No, it's not an expectation of where I think I should be. It's not even an expectation. It's the fact that I've been on a path that I should have never been on.
Meaning
I've been on a path that I should have never been on. Like I'm walking down this road, I've been doing a bunch of jobs that I really should have never been in.
mm-hmm.
I've spent a bunch of time dealing with stuff that I should have never dealt with. Being over 400 pounds now, just dealing with depression, dealing with obesity, dealing with not doing what I wanted to do in life. And it's like it's this endless road of shit that I should have. If I would have just stuck on my original road, I would have never encountered. And I feel like now that I'm moving back to that lane, I feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I move back to that lane, I feel it. And I tell Q1 every time, like people look at me in awe. Every time I do martial arts, people look at me in awe.
I mean, mainly
But
because as big as you are doing the shit you're doing, it's an amazing feat. It's amazing to see it. I've seen it. I'm like, this shit don't make no damn sense. Like, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy to see a nigga that big moving that fast or doing the things that he do. And I think it's genetics. You know, just like when we go hooping and stuff, and I may do something, they like everybody like, what? Like people like, what the fuck is that? Like it's weird because we are so much more athletically gifted than we actually can ever know because we have not had the discipline in our lives to actually shoot for the shit that we're supposed to shoot. Just like me, I haven't shot for none of the stuff that I want. You know what I mean? I keep playing myself down, just like P. But I keep telling him he's young. You know, you're young. Just keep going for it. And then by being single, it opens up the door for you to say, I'm focused and I'm locked in. And you don't have somebody nagging you talking about, well, why don't you come see me?
yeah.
I think, this is a great time, for all three of us to really, because even in, marriage, single, I think that a lot of marriages also end when people stop trying to be their best self, and they get comfortable in, and that's where the depression kicks in, and that's where the spite kicks in, and that's where the being angry and upset and always unsatisfied, never happy, is because you stopped shooting for being your best self. And your best self has nothing to do with anyone else but you.
And
So
that's what I mean by going down a road that I should have never been on.
But it takes you sitting down and saying, okay, this is I'm writing on paper my road. I'm writing on paper my road. This is where I want to be. And everybody talks about dream boards and everybody talks about this. Goals are real. Dream boards can really be real to you if you look at it from the aspect of this is my road. Like you know, I was talking about mission statement. You should have a mission statement for yourself. This is my road. If I want to be a nurse, I'm going to be a nurse. If I want to be a forensic scientist, I'm going to be that. These are the steps to get there. And if I'm going to be single, then there's nothing that you can do to deter me from that. You either add to it or you won't be there. And that's how you have to navigate that, especially when you feel like I've set myself back or myself has been set back and just taking the wrong turns. I feel the same way. Me and Kiwan talked about this last week or so, like not feeling like, I mean, I have a degree. I went to school, you know, I did that, and I'm still making the same money that y'all probably, you know, you probably make more than I make because I feel like I got off the road that I should have been on. But it's because I didn't have confidence that I would complete that road. I didn't have confidence that I can do even what I thought I was going to do, even when I was successful in part of doing it. Again, it comes back to discipline, self-worth, and confidence. And that's in marriage, that's singleness. I have to be as confident as I can be, even being married. I got to be confident in the fact that regardless of how big I am, regardless of how chocolate I am, he chose me because he seen something in me. I chose him because I seen something in him. And it has nothing to do with, like Huan said, those aesthetics, those outer things or those changeable things. So at the end of the day, if you know where you want to be, write it down and keep a tab on what you, by next year. That's why I keep asking y'all. That's why I have this here. Where you at? I write it down. Your goals, I write it down. Where are you? Every time you tell me something, I'm writing it down. Because July to December, I want to know at the end of December that y'all reached the goal that y'all set for yourself. That's what I mean by accountability. Y'all got to keep yourself accountable in your own path as well. So I understand where you are, and if marriage is not something that you see right now, focus on you. It is nothing wrong with that. I got a chance to focus on me until I was 35 years old, and I tell you, I don't regret it at all. But don't get so settled in that you don't open up yourself for the right person that will walk through that path with you. And that's pretty much all I have to say.
Well, I mean, and when it comes to being single, sometimes you kind of get caught up in your own thing. But like, I think that honestly, you need to find people that's like-minded. So, for example, you into martial arts, you into jiu-jitsu. So maybe you should find a female that's into it too. A female that's into a different type of lifestyle. Because a lot of times what we do is we get culturally locked into people that we are in proximity to, right? So, you might find a black chick, once again, she more concerned about you being able to take her to Red Lobster, Chili's, or if you want to be bougie with it, crustaceans, whatever it is. She more engaged on what you're doing to be able to take her there than saying, all right, you going to the UFC gym, or you going to the jiu-jitsu spot? I want to go. I want to work out. I'm gonna go with you. I want to learn how to do this. I want to learn how to roll. I want to learn how to do how to do takedowns. Whatever the case, whatever that shit is that you're doing, somebody that's genuine, and I mean genuinely like interested in that. There's a lot of women that's interested in that shit right now.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
anime.
the MMA stuff.
Matter of fact, go to an anime convention.
You talking about anime?
What's it called? Anime?
No, MMA. It's MMA.
No,
mixed martial arts.
ANIME.
Yeah,
I'm
anime.
talking anime. No, I'm talking about his
I
mixed
said
martial
go
arts.
to one of those conventions. There's a whole lot of people who are into that stuff.
Yeah. No, we're talking about mixed martial arts stuff. I mean, I guess they kind of go hand in hand.
They kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah, they kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah. So
yes.
Yeah. So like you said, go to one of the conventions. Find women that's generally interested in that, and then like you said, you have to marry them, but at least you have somebody that can help push you down that road, push you down towards your goals. Like they understand your goals, and then it's not like, oh, well, are you gonna come pick me up so we can go here, go there? They more so want to go hang out with you at the gym. And like you said, when people see you, they in awe. They're like, damn, I didn't know he was that good. You know what I mean? So now you have a genuine connection. And that's something that people rarely have, is a genuine connection. So, that's why loving basketball was such a powerful movie, because they was genuinely in love with the game of basketball.
Right.
They was genuinely in love with each other. So
yeah,
that's my only advice to you. If you do want to kind of start getting out there and getting into some entanglements, you want to get into an entanglement with somebody who likes to who likes mixed martial arts, you can definitely get into an entanglement like that. It might turn into a shotgun wedding, you know what I mean? But at least you said, man, dang, I fell for I've just so happened, I didn't believe in it, but it just so happened that this business venture I'm about to get into may have the proper mission statement, and she understands that this is what business is like. So when we get the money right, when we build this home that we want, you know what I mean? If we do decide to have children, if we do, this is how we're gonna raise our kids. So we have all the ideas, all of our departments, whether it's accounting, get y'all money, whether it's y'all investments, whether it's y'all, mutual funds, like however you want to put it, whatever terminology you want to use in y'all business, that's the thing, it's y'all business. And then one thing that we didn't discuss about marriage is the inside trader fast, like the inside trader facet of marriage. Inside trader meaning, like, basically, we all know that if you have your business here, right, your business is flourishing, what you don't want to do is tell other people about your business, especially those who are maybe competitors, right? So that's something that people don't realize, is that when you sit up there and you're in marriage, if you have somebody that's always loose lipping and sinking shippings, then that can hurt your overall profitability of your business. Yeah. One thing that I've always had with this thing that I'm in is people tell me something, and then they'll go tell her, they're like, oh, Q didn't tell you? She's like, he don't tell me nothing. When she tell me something, I'm not about to run out and tell nobody else, because I feel like we can't be loose lipping like that. I only tell things that are general information or situational information. Because if you're in a situation, everybody's gonna know anyway, right? But I'm not trying to be out there, oh man, you know what this happened, man. Why you, man, what do they call it? Chatty patties? You know what I mean? Like,
man, Q, let me tell you.
You know, and a funny story is a funny story. I mean, I'll tell a funny story in a minute, but when it comes to something that I feel like is important to the sanctity of what I got going on in this household. I don't really truly disclose a lot of stuff. I say, hey, we're going through this and we're going through that. So it's not, I'm about to start pointing. Definitely ain't gonna be pointing fingers at nobody. Because one of the things I tell all the kids is that before you come tell me about what this person did, you tell me what you did. And if you gotta come telling me what you did first, more than likely you ain't gonna come tell me nothing at all. You see how that works? So a lot of people, they not being raised like that. And I say all the time that I'm raising my kids in somewhat of an old school philosophy that no longer applies. So that when they go out into the world, they act in a different way. They moving different because a lot of people out there is moving like bitches. And not this, that's what they do. For example, I say, you know what? If you have a friend and they do X, Y, Z, and this is what I told my kids. I'm like, if you have a friend that's doing X, Y, Z, believe that he's going to do that to you too. If he do something shady to this person, he'll do it to you too. If she always talking about somebody else, she will talk about you too. That's just how it goes. So if you want to eliminate yourself in situations, and I also tell them, nigga, don't, it's hard to say this, but don't like them, don't love them, and replace them. Because I have two boys.
What?
I said, don't like them, don't love them, and replace them. Like, don't get caught up into too much of this he say, she say when it comes to these young girls. Because you're young, they're young. 13 and 15, going on 16, what we caring for? What we caring for? Like, that's just your friend. That's all it is. You might think, oh, she cutesy. Oh, get the hell out of here. Don't like them, don't love them, and replace them. Because it's just that simple. It shouldn't be getting deeply rooted into somebody at such a young age. And that's game that I'm giving them that wasn't given to me. I talk to my kids about everything where my parents didn't talk to me about a bunch of me. So that's the way I look at it with the marriage portion of the segment. Definitely, if you want to go down that road, find somebody that's locked and step in your purpose. Find somebody where your purposes are aligned. Because even when it comes to being religiously locked, you'll have somebody like the Kirk Franklin, where I know when he probably met his wife, it was probably locked in religiously, but out of nowhere, he talked about he was losing his religion. So he lost his religion, and he probably lost his wife too, because she's still trying to go to church every day, every Sunday, and praise God. If you say, you know what, church ain't for me no more, but you met her at the church, how long that's gonna last? You know what I mean? So it's got to be locked in step in purpose, and that's what I said. The mission statement is very important. If like I said, eventually I might have to just sit down and pen this book. I just don't feel like people read anymore, so I feel like I'll be wasting my time. But I'm serious. Like, even, I guess there are some people that still read. And in my book would be kind of, I guess, like I said, I'll have to do a lot of research too. I would have to just sit and read a gang of books to where I can get my business information and then my relationship information, and then put it to the thoughts that I have here and make it kind of like a guide, and then also kind of make it more story based, to where the story can kind of evolve and show you in practical application of what you see. You know what I'm saying? So, but go ahead, Khalil.
Well, on that note, this was a great episode of Dipped in Chocolate, and just good stuff, just good perspective on just even, just what causes, people to not want marriage, you know what I mean? And that was a good perspective, because a lot of people, I feel like they get into these relationships and marriage, one, like you said, ready-made. Like, I want a ready-made. I want the easy bake oven marriage, and everybody know easy bake oven is cute when you're a kid, but when you grow up, you realize that junk is real nasty,
Especially that microwave brownie.
Yeah, and it ain't edible.
It's not edible. It ain't even microwave. It's like a science project brownie. All you do is you got a little box with a light.
Like, you want that?
I remember you
that
had one
cake in a cup.
And I was like, man, she got an easy bake oven. I want some. And I was like, okay, she mixed it and put it in the brownie. And then I looked, because I was one of the people who used to take everything apart. I was like, nigga, that's a light bulb in there. What the hell is this? I was like, really, nigga? I was
had
like,
an easy bake oven.
I know. And I looked in there, I was like, because I always want to know how stuff works. I took apart everything, VCR, everything, TV, radios, receivers, cars. I always just take stuff apart. I looked in there, I was like, that's a light. I'm like, how is that supposed to cook? I was like, all right. But that's back when they used to make toys that were designed to keep women. Make little girls, like little girls played house, little girls had tea sets, little girls had dolls, little girls had easy bake ovens. So little girls had little girl things that made them kind of domesticated, I guess. Mm-hmm. It was just the ideals that they kind of put into place with the little children. So when they grow up, they want to know how to bake cakes and bake cookies from scratch and da. Like DeAndre's daughter. His daughter just made him a huge cake for his birthday. It was a nice looking cake. I'm like, man, for 15, she know how to bake a cake. I'm like, that's cool. Tyler, I ain't getting no cake. You gonna get a cake for my birthday? And they be like, man, I ain't. Yeah, probably. Oh, you just getting old, Dad. All right, whatever. Both of them slap me on my head, talking about, you bald head. Slap me on my head and then walk away. So that's what happens when you have little niggas.
They have no emotions. They have no emotions at all.
I would be concerned if they did, though. Because I don't. So if you did have emotions, I'm looking at your mama like, so whose kids are these? They ain't mine.
But yeah, it was.
It still might not be mine. Maury, I'm coming. Connecticut. So as
Maury is going to deny access. Okay, he gonna be like, whatever, dude. This is crazy.
Nigga.
This is you as a child. This is you as an adult. Get out of here.
No, it would be classic. Them niggas being that old, and they probably wouldn't even get on stage. They'd be like, I ain't messing with him, Maury. He's stupid. This is stupid. That'd be so bad. So bad. That nigga take like, listen here, Maury. I'm going to kill my dad. He's embarrassing me. He's on TV doing stupid stuff. Maury, my dad is stupid. Maury gonna try to talk him into coming out. Just come on, sit on stage. Let's just hear your side of it. I'll be the only one up there like, yeah, Maury, she a hoe, Maury. She a hoe, Maury. She ain't no good, Maury. All right, well, look, can I read it? Yeah, Maury, get ready to run to the back, little bitch. Get ready to run to the back and hold the phone. Go more, read it.
And then you just go see the producer come out and Q on gonna be like, make that check out too. Make that check out too.
Actually, I'll be like, hey man, the hotel y'all had us in, they didn't have the towels, you know what I mean? I need the good hotel with the nice towel. We wanted to go swimming. They didn't even have a bathroom.
Did you get a good show? Did you get a good show?
I'm hooking you up.
I need an extra zero. Did you get a good show? I need an extra zero. I need an extra zero.
Yeah, man. So,
yeah. Any closing
like
remarks?
I said, it's
man?
a business. It's a business. It's a business. It's a business. Whether the kids is mine or not, they're mine. So I don't care. They're mine. So at this point, nigga, I done took care of these niggas. I was daddy daycare. Shit, y'all don't know. I was daddy daycare, Coach Q. A lot of people know who was Coach Q.
BROCCOLI. I am the broccoli and don't know why. Oh my God.
Y'all have any closing remarks?
Do you have any closing remarks, Pete?
Nah. Oh, I ain't got no closing remarks. I just want one. Oh yeah, I do got a closing remark. I do got a closing remark. Don't be stupid in your relationship. Don't be moved by emotion to where it's gonna cause y'all to do stupid stuff. That's all I got to say.
Well, I guess I should say, don't call this shit entanglement. Don't call it entanglement. Nigga, just call it what it is, nigga. It's called life. It's called life. Like, don't explain away bullshit. Don't use words to try to cover bullshit. Stay 100, whatever you do. If you want to get something from somebody else, you married, that's called just life. Because what people don't understand is as a husband or a wife, you have a lot of roles to play. So I told this one young guy who was I don't want to call him young, but I used to work with him. They got engaged, and they asked, "Hey Terry, what should we know?" And I said, "Listen, I'm like, man, only thing I can tell you is this: you got some ups and downs, you got some ins and outs, whatever. But as a husband, you have to fulfill all the roles for that person. So one day, you're going to have to be her father. You're going to have to be her lover, her husband, her best friend, her brother. You have to be all those men roles that come across in her life. You have to, at some point, fulfill all those roles. And you also have to be able to engage her mentally to where she feels like she learned some shit from you. Period. So, and the same thing for her. You gotta be her, she gotta be your teacher. She has to be your cheerleader. Like she has to be everything, your mother. She gonna tell you when you feeling sick. You gonna eat, you're gonna take this cough syrup. You're going to eat this soup. She's going to be your mother in that. She's going to be your sister. She's going to be your best friend. She's going to be all of those things. So when you guys get married, look at all the roles and say, am I prepared mentally, physically, and emotionally to fulfill all these different roles for this person that I'm about to engage in? And then also, at the very end of it, when I get ready to sign my name on it, did I get my mission statement? Do we have our business affairs together? Is this going to be a profitable business? Number one cause of divorce is finance, not adultery, not good sex, bad sex, not whether you know you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, not whether you gained the gang of weight and got fat and ugly. None of that shit. Finance is the number one reason for divorce. But you know what that's also called in the business world? Bankruptcy.
Bankruptcy.
I'm trying to tell y'all niggas, this theory that I got is rock solid. I know this theory of business and marriage being the same thing. It's rock solid. I just need to give it to y'all to where y'all can really read it and understand it. But like I said, I don't feel like doing it. I'm being lazy. I ain't living in my purpose. Just like I ain't lost no damn weight.
Okay, titty man. Okay, titty man.
Who sucking who titties over here?
Oh boy. All right, y'all. It's been real. We'll see you on the next episode. They got my head. They got me holding my head. All right. Good night, y'all.
Good night.
Good night.